Tribute to Gertrude McGovern, 2016. Jack and Isabel McGovern were married October the 15th, 1914, in Shaunavon, Saskatchewan. They had been neighbors for 2 years as their parents settled on homesteads at Scotsgard, right beside one another. The seventh child of Isabel and Jack is Gertrude Louise, born June the 27th, 1928. Isabel's diary states, Gertrude Louise was born June the 27th at a nursing home in Admiral, Saskatchewan. The price of wheat was too low. It took a load of wheat to purchase a load of coal. This was the start of the Depression. End of quote. The Admiral Nursing Home was on the location where Pat McGovern and Corky McCann resided at from 1951 to 1962. However, the nursing home was transformed to the Saskatchewan Wheat Pool House. Dr. Pedley and Nurse Booth, or Granny Westlake, were present. There were about 6 busy midwives in the area at the time, including Gertrude's grandmother, Anna Marie Brown Clifford. The Depression was a defining event in the families of Saskatchewan. Jack McGovern was a reeve of Bone Creek Municipality and was in charge of relief supplies to the needy of the area. Everyone was in need for over a 10-year period. Jack was worn out by the crisis of the Depression and therefore held an auction sale in the fall of 1938 and committed to Notch Hill, British Columbia as their future home. Gertrude was confirmed at the Catholic Church in Shaunavon in the fall of 1939 with her brother prior to the family becoming parishioners at Holy Cross Catholic Church, Notch Hill, British Columbia. The church built about 20 feet from the CPR main line, which was an active set of tracks that included splitting up long trains from the prairies and shuttling them up the mountain pass. Church services were often interrupted with the racket of the trains, but Gertrude was able to maintain a focus on her faith in spite of the interruptions. In 1944, Lee, Pat, and Gertrude had permission from their parents to live in Kelowna with John and Seal Hoyland to pack fruit for the war effort. They resided very close to the Catholic Church during that period, and the girls participated in daily Mass, either before work in the morning or in the evening. Sister Anne Madeline, the area superior for the Sisters of Charity, Halifax, was leading the association, the Society of Mary Sodality. About 25 girls, including the McGovern girls, all became very good friends as members. Sister Anna invited Pat, Lee, and Gertrude to consider a religious vocation, and they all became interested. But Lee felt the 3 of them were too many from the family to move across the country and left Pat and Gertrude with their discerning task. In May of 1946, when the war effort contribution was winding down, the girls returned to the Notch Hill farm for their personal discernment with Jack and Isabel. On July the 1st, 1946, they boarded the train with one-way tickets to Halifax, Nova Scotia, to enter the convent portion of their personal calls to becoming brides of Christ. Aunt Pat's quote from a letter to Gertrude explains their enthusiasm for religious life. Our trip to Halifax, wasn't it fun? When we knelt by Brother Andre's tomb in Montreal, did we think then so many experiences were in store for us? Gertrude, He, God, gave us joy together. Now He wants us to go the rest of the way, just with Him, alone with God. Yes, it can be done, even in a world filled with people. End of quote. It has been done. Gertrude's life is a testimony to having Jesus, Mary, the church, and the religious order as the spouses of her life. We, as a family, are very proud of her call and her dedication to the Lord. We have all benefited as she carried all of us, nieces, nephews, parents, and our children, in constant prayer. She also initiated others to pray on our behalf, and she has also loved all of us very much, being concerned about our wellness with the observance of paths many of us chose that included ways likely that broke her heart. Gertrude, we all ask you to forgive us in any way that we have hurt you, as we love you very much and pray for your peace. Aunt Pat became ill in her time at the convent at Halifax, and the order encouraged her in another path, which agreed with Pat's person, as she didn't desire to repeat the first time period with the Sisters of Charity. She returned to Cranbrook and was soon working with the Sisters of Providence at St. Eugene Hospital in Cranbrook, British Columbia. From Isabel's diary, we have the following milestone notes. 1949, Gertrude makes her first profession to the Sisters of Charity, Halifax, April 17, 1949. 1955, Gertrude made her final profession, August 15, 1955, to the Sisters of Charity, Halifax. 1956, Sister Ann Stephen, affectionately called Hun, came from Halifax for a visit. She stayed visiting with many relatives and then moved to New York on August the 23rd. 1965, Pat was very ill. Gertrude came to visit her favorite companion. 1967, Gertrude came for 12 days at the end of July. 1970, in May, Gertrude took leave from her work in Hardisty, Alberta, to study in Vancouver. Isabel had a heart attack during the summer, and Gertrude is able to spend quality time with her mother and share Christmas with the Hoyland family. 1975, Hun went to retreat in Spokane and summer school until July the 26th. We are very appreciative that you have had an extensive period of time in Kelowna and Summerland to share with your brothers and sisters, nieces, nephews, and many friends. Your ministry in Quebec City, Bathurst, Halifax, Jasper, Hardisty, Brooklyn, and Williston Park, New York, was certainly sacrifice for yourself and for the family that gives a bonding to our family. We are all part of many communities and families, and I testify that the McGovern-Clifford families have a bond and a love that many families do not have. I believe that generations of the family have prayed for this, and the family culture does not accept grudges and estrangement among its members. Our family is called to love, and we care for one another as our talents allow. Sister Ann Stephen, Hun, Gertrude Louise, you are the spiritual glue of our family, and we love you very much. Best wishes. May the peace of our Lord and your family be with you